Hello students, in this section we are going to discuss on network protocols, which are the set of rules which guides the communication in a network. There are several rules are there, for example TCP or IP, then voice over IP, FTP or this file transfer protocol, telnet or telecommunication network, POP, post office protocol, SMTP, simple mail transfer protocol, etc. Okay, these are the some of the protocols or set of rules that guides the communication over a network. We are going to see each one of them in detail. Okay, so the first one we are going to see is TCP or IP. Okay, so that is the basic protocol or that is the most important protocol in a network. Okay, it's a set of two protocols which is TCP and IP, transmission control protocol and internet protocol. Okay, so it's a set of protocols used over the internet. It organizes how data packets are communicated and make sure packets are packets having the following information, which is source and destination. Okay, so source and destination, then packet sequence, data, then error check. Okay, we have already discussed when on the topic packet switching. Data is divided into packets and sent over the network to be received at the destination. Okay, so in this TCP IP protocols, which have the following information, which is source, the which computer or which device who sends the information, then destination, the computer which the data should be received. Okay, so that is source and destination. Then packet sequence, that is the data is divided into packets. It is in a sequence, so its correct order must be kept in the protocol itself. Then only when it received at the destination, it can be grouped together to form the original data. Then data or our message, then error check. It's a parameter that check for any errors in the transmission. Okay, so that is TCP. Then IP tells how packets of information are sent out over the networks. How the packets of information are sent over the network. Then TCP or transmission control protocol ensures the reliability of data transmission across the network. Okay, so the packet sequence designs or packet sequence is the order in which the message or data to be reassembled at the destination. Okay, so the error check, the check to see the message has been sent correctly. Okay, so that is TCP and IP protocol or transmission control protocol and internet protocol. Okay, so that is TCP and IP. Next we are going to see is HTTP or hypertext transfer protocol. Okay, it's a generic stateless object oriented and application level protocol. Okay, so HTTP transfers web pages from web servers to the client. All web pages address start with the HTTP. When you browse on the network, you can see all the web pages over the internet are starting with the address with the HTTP. Okay, so it is used for viewing information on a web page over the internet. Okay, then you can an HTTP address is a secure web address. Okay, another version of HTTP is HTTPS. HTTPS is a secure web address which has been encrypted. Okay, then this basic HTTP consists of a set of requests and responses. Okay, an HTTP request is generated by the client and HTTP response is generated by the server. Okay, so using HTTP protocol, a server system or a client system requests a particular resource from the server, and then the server returns the resources with the HTTP response, and all web pages addresses are starting with HTTP, that we have already said. Then HTTPS address is a secure web address which is encrypted. Okay, so which is commonly used for sites holding bank details and secure informations. Okay, so most of the banking websites are starting with the HTTPS because it is encrypted for additional security. Okay, so that is HTTPS protocol and HTTP. Okay, so HTTP is common for all the web pages over the internet, while HTTPS is often used to protect highly confidential information such as online transactions, for example, online shopping, okay, etc. The next protocol we are going to discuss is FTP or File Transfer Protocol. Okay, FTP is designed to transfer files from one system to another in a network. Okay, so FTP is used to transfer large files. It is often used for organizing file on a web server for a website. Okay, you can have private access to an area on FTP server where you can upload your files. Okay, you can then give another user to access or download the documents that you have shared. For example, our Google Drive. Okay, so it's a simple example. Then FTP encourages the indirect use of remote computers. Okay, so file transfer protocol encourages the indirect use of remote computers, which is as an example we can say using remote computers. For example, this remote logging programs are there. Okay, so using this remote login programs we can access and control remote desktops. Okay, so the Windows already providing a feature called a remote desktop access. Okay, so the FTP file transfer protocol is built on the client server architecture. Okay, then the main objective of file transferring protocols are transmitting and sharing files. Okay, file sharing. Okay, so it can be a computer program or a computer file. Then indirect or implicit use of remote computers. That's we have already said, remote login or remote use of computers. Then to shield a user from variations in file storage system among different hosts. Okay, so it shields the user from the problems or variations in file storage systems among different hosts. To transfer data reliably and efficiently. Okay, the file transfer protocol helps in efficient transfer of data. Then FTP uses the TCP/IP protocols to enable data transfer. So FTP works along with the TCP and IP protocols. Okay, then FTP uses two well-known TCP ports. So TCP/IP protocols. Okay, two ports of the TCP ports it is used, port 20 and port 21. Okay, so port 20 is used for data connection and port 21 is used for the control connection. So there is a data connection and a control connection is there. Okay, both the control and connection data connection is there, is used there. Then an additional protocol is there for FTP, an additional protocol which is SFTP. It is a secure version of file transfer protocol like HTTPS. SFTP is the secure transfer protocol, secure file transfer protocol. Okay. The next network protocol we are going to see is PPP, which is known as point-to-point protocol. Okay, used with the dial-up connections in the network. Okay, for example, a modem. Okay, including the ISDN. Okay, so then it's a layered protocol used for transmitting the data over telephone lines. Okay, it is mainly used for transmitting data over the telephone lines. Okay, then it provides connection authentication, transmission, encryption and compression. Okay, so the connection authentication, which means the connection should be authentic and efficient. Then transmission of data, and then encryption and compression. Data to be compressed and for efficient transmission. So less data means efficient transmission. Then encryption means security. Okay, so this is the specialty of point-to-point protocol. Okay, next we are going to see is the SMTP protocol, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. So it is mainly used for emails. Okay, so to send emails. So connection oriented application layer protocol. SMTP is a connection oriented application layer protocol. It is used to handle outgoing messages. Okay, so it's a standard electronic mail protocol that handles the sending of email from a server to client or client to server. To accomplish this transfer, SMTP server has its own MX or mail exchanger record in the domain name system database that corresponds to the domains for which it is configured to receive mail. Okay, So that is the specialty of SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. It is used to handle outgoing messages, not incoming messages. It is designed for only outgoing messages. Okay, so then next protocol, which is POP or Post Office Protocol. It's also an application layer protocol which is also used for this emailing purposes. Okay, so latest version is POP 3, Post Office Protocol 3. So it is used by email clients to retrieve email messages from the mail servers to receive email. So that is the purpose of POP protocol. Okay, IMAP, Internet Message Access Protocol, is an advanced message retrieving protocol which is used by POP. Okay, so SMTP server and another server that process incoming messages, usually POP or IMAP. SMTP uses TCP port number 25 for standard communication. So that is Post Office Protocol. So SMTP protocol is used for sending messages, and POP protocol, POP 3 or Post Office Protocol 3, is used by email clients to receive or retrieve email from the mail servers. That is the POP protocol and SMTP protocol. Okay, so the next protocol we are going to discuss is Telnet. Okay, it is short for telecommunications network. Okay, so it is short for telecommunication network, a virtual terminal protocol allowing a user logged on to the TCP IP host to access another host on the network. Okay, so virtual terminal protocol allowing a user to access other hosts on the network. Okay, many people use remote control applications to access computers at their workplace from outside the network. Okay, so in a remote control, a session appears in which the user is able to manage the files on the remote computer, although the session appears to be functioning locally. Okay, like sharing or accessing the files on a remote system. Okay, so that is the specialty of Telnet. Okay, short for telecommunication network. It's a virtual terminal protocol which allows the user to log into one system and then access other hosts on the network. Okay, so that is Telnet. Okay, then next one we are going to discuss is VoIP or Voice over IP. Okay, so Voice over IP or Voice over Internet Protocol is used for transferring of voice, or Voice over Internet Protocol is used to having internet voice calls. Okay, so Voice over Internet Protocol means telephone services over internet. Okay, it also uses the packet switching method. Okay, VoIP or Voice over Internet Protocol is a set of protocols that enable people to have voice conversation over the internet. Okay, then it has two variations are there, H.323 and Session Initiation Protocol, which is SIP. Okay, so there are three main causes for the evolution of Voice over IP, which is low cost phone calls, then unified messaging, and merging of data and voice infrastructure. Okay, so Voice over IP have the feature that voice and data on a single network, thus reduced infrastructure cost. Okay, as the older communication networks, as the case of older communication network, there is a need for separate channels for data and voice. So in Voice over IP protocol, there is no need for separate channels. So voice and data can be sent over a single network. So thus reduced infrastructure cost. Then there is two variations are there, or two protocols are additionally used for Voice over IP, which is H.323, which is prioritize and manage Voice over IP communication. Okay, then there's a Session Initiation Protocol, which modifies and terminate a Voice over IP call. Okay, so that is Voice over IP. So mainly it is used for voice calls or voice calls over internet. Okay, then additional protocols are there, for example SSH, SCP, SFTP, etc. Okay, so SSH means Secure Shell. It is a program or protocol which is used for logging into and executing commands on a remote machine. It provides secure encrypted communications between two untrusted hosts over an infrastructure network. Okay, it is mainly used between two unsecure hosts, okay, which provides a secure encrypted communication between two untrusted hosts. Then SFTP we have already discussed, which is a secured version of file transfer protocol. And then finally SCP. Okay, so SCP means secure copy protocol. It's a file transfer protocol which helps in transferring computer files securely from a local host to a remote host. Okay, so that is all for this session. We will see on next class.